this week's edition of Homemade Money exclusively on CFF Nation. And we are here with Jonathan or do you go by Haggerty? Jonathan Haggerty.
Jonathan Haggerty.
The Royal Hag.
Royal Hag. How y'all doing out there?
And we're going to talk about his trip into the NFL, and we're going to talk about how he's living his dreams and what he's working on from a personal business perspective. So you have accomplished what people dream of their whole lives.
Yeah, it's truly a blessing, and it's truly a dream come true. You know, as a young kid and a young child growing up in the hood.
And here in Dallas, right?
Yeah, here in Dallas.
So you were a kid in Dallas, and you walked up to your mom one day and said, "I want to be in the NFL."
Well, actually, when I, you know, I'm a big fan of the Cowboys ever since I was a young child. So when I saw them on TV, and I said to myself, man, those guys look like they're having fun. I want to do that. And from there, I wanted to play in the NFL, but I didn't know how real that would be at the time. I just.
So, you know, every other mom, like when my kids say that, I say, yeah, that'll never happen. Isn't that terrible? I'm a motivational speaker and motivational person that, I don't know, I think we want to make sure our kids don't. It's a big dream.
Yeah, that's a big dream.
It's a big dream.
Yeah, so, you know, for me, I didn't know that it would someday come true, but I hoped that it would. And as I grew and started to, you know, work out and play sports, my dream kept getting closer and closer. But the funny thing is, I never played Pop Warner. And the first time I played for a team was in the 9th grade.
Wow.
And I didn't start till my senior year.
No way.
It's a long journey.
It is.
Yeah.
That is a long journey.
But I learned a lot along the way.
And so when you got that first call, how did it feel?
Oh man, it was great. You know, on draft day, the first team that called me, you'll find this funny because I haven't told anybody. It's only my family knows
Oh,
this.
yeah.
So on the draft day,
only hear it here.
the Minnesota Vikings called me. That was the first team to call me, and they said, "Jonathan, do you want to be a part of the Minnesota Vikings?" Before I could say yes, the phone hung up, and I was crushed. I'm thinking like, what do I do? Do I call them back?
What's her number?
I called them back. They never answered. So I'm sitting here, and my mom is like, you know, be patient. You worked hard. You'll get another call. And so I'm waiting 5 minutes, no call. And about 10 minutes later, my phone rung again. Pick it up. Jonathan Haggerty, this is Cleveland Browns. Are you ready to come up and be a part? Yes. So they had Rob Ryan, which he was the defensive coordinator of the Browns, and they said we have some. He went to my college, Southwestern Oklahoma. So they said we have some SWASU alumni in here, and they put Rob Ryan on the phone, and he said, "What's up, Jonathan? You ready?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready."
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
I think that was destiny, though. It was destined for me to go to the Browns and to Ohio. So.
Well, and you love motivating people too. So tell me what this show is called Homemade Money, and I am trying to convince people that they should follow their dreams and start their small businesses and pursue their passions.
Right.
And we're going to do something later today, so I want you to talk about that. And I want you.
Work out.
Yeah, we are. He's going to get me in some tights.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
But I want to talk about the personal training and some of the things that you're passionate, because you've got to train anyways, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
a lot. And it could be real cumbersome, or it could be something that you enjoy doing and you motivate others to do it.
Well, the thing about me, when I was growing up, I was not, so to speak, the most talented guy. You know, I was a skinny kid. I wasn't the fastest, but I could catch. And so, you know, whereas my teammates, they were, you know, talented. They had the skills and the speed and everything.
Right.
I really had to work for mine.
You probably felt like it was a little unfair. Like
Yeah,
they
in a
had
lot of
more
ways.
gifts.
A lot
Some of them
ways.
are, and some of these Texas kids, I mean, both of my boys are really big football boys. I mean,
Right.
one of them's just gigantic. They have played since they were in the second grade, most
Wow,
of these.
see?
I mean, they've played their whole lives,
Right.
and the practices are brutal, 4 to 6 hours a day. So you probably felt like you could have quit at any point. You could have given
Yes.
up.
I was actually going to quit in the 10th grade. Actually, this is a really good interview because I haven't really discussed this on an interview, and I don't discuss it with many people.
That's what makes me good. No, I'm just kidding.
This will be in my book, so I can only give you enough.
Oh, you just give us
Can't
enough.
give you too much, but I'll give you enough. And I was going to quit football in 10th grade, because things weren't, like I saw on TV when I looked at the Cowboys. The reality for me was it was tough. And the thing about it, I was at my aunt's house, and she stayed right by my freshman football coach. Well, I saw him one day in his yard. I was walking around the block, and he turned around. He was like, "What's up, Jonathan?" I was like, "Coach?" And so we talked for probably about an hour and a half, and I told him, because he knew the things that I was going through.
Right.
And I told him, this is not for me. Football's not for me, and it's not what I expected. And I had something different in mind, and I told him I'm probably going to quit. And he looked at me and he said something that kind of lit a fire in me. He said, "Jonathan, you're not a quitter." He said, "I know what you're going through." He said, "You're not a quitter." He said, "You have something that the talented guys don't have." And at this point, I'm thinking he's trying to rah-rah me.
Right.
So I'm like, what? What do I have? And he said, "You have work ethic."
You have
And
heart.
that's the first time I heard the word work ethic. And so I'm like, work ethic? And he said, yeah. He said, a lot of those guys are talented.
They don't have
But
to
you
work
work
at
for
it.
everything
Right.
you get. You work so hard. He said, I guarantee you, your hard work at some point will outwork their talents, and you'll get your goal. When he said that, my whole philosophy kind of changed. And, I ran track to get faster. I worked out with the guys who were bigger than me to get stronger, and I just, that's when I fell in love, with fitness, with the grind of it, and just seeing what it could do for me. And by the time I was a senior, like I said, I didn't start until my senior year. By the time I was a senior, I was faster, I was bigger, and I was stronger. And so
And you could still catch, right?
yeah. And the hands was, the hands was always money. You know what I'm saying? The hands was always good. So, but, going from, high school all the way to the Cleveland Browns, I remember standing in the mirror with my Browns uniform before I went on the field, before we were playing Green Bay, and thinking to myself as a child, I thought about this. And I was like, what are you doing here?
Yep.
It was like, wow. And I saw what your thoughts could do for you,
Right.
and what your work ethic could do for you, is that dreams really do come true if you apply yourself. And
Right.
I heard a wise man say, do what scares you. And I had to do what scared me. I had to go through a lot of things, but they only molded me for the dream that was to come. So it wasn't the dream itself, but the journey that turns you in.
It
to
refines
the person.
you,
Yes,
right.
It refines you to who you're supposed to be. And when you arrive at the destination, you're like, wow, all the things that I applied and all the things that I've learned, they are true.
Because it's not, what I see in your life, Jonathan, is it's not just the football. It's not just that you've been refined through this process, but it's that you've poured into relationships. You have a beautiful wife. You have you have put
Thank
in the
God.
work everywhere. You've started your personal training, and you just care about the people. That's why it's going to be successful.
I really do. I mean, life is about growth. And everything that I do, I've learned that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're trying to grow in the right direction and not repeat those same mistakes and get rid of those old habits. So, the more you form good habits, the more you get closer to your dreams and destiny. And I can't, without, talking about any of this, discredit God, because, I get that character from Him, because I dive into His Word, and His Word is true. I've tested in every area of my life, and, that's, when people tell me, wow, you encourage me, and you've helped me, or you helped my son or my daughter, as far as mentoring and things like that, it's an extension of what God has poured into me. And so I just want to pour that into others, and that's why fitness is one area that I love so much, because I saw what it can do for me, and I believe it can do the same thing for others, because when I see...
Well, I think it helps the mental attitude part.
Yes.
When you can do something. A lot of times people watch things and it's hard to actually get off the couch.
Right.
It's hard to move forward. And so I love the walking club that you started. Tell me about the walking club. We're going to do that today, and we will show you some video footage of the walking club, Jonathan's walking club. But talk about what you started.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how that idea came to me. I love reading more than I love watching TV, so I read a lot about health, and I study sports medicine and health. And one of the simple things that people neglect when they're trying to start to get in better health and fitness is walking. And so I thought to myself, a lot of people are kind of fearful of the gym, so let's take them step by step.
That's how I lost 50 pounds several years ago, just walking.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I started 10 minutes a day, then I went up to 20 minutes a day, and it worked I had 3 kids, I was traveling internationally, I had this crazy schedule, and I didn't want to see a gym. I didn't want to see all those skinny little things in their leotards. I was an executive woman. I was at the board table all day long. They were serving donuts,
You're like, oh no. I won't start in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, for me, I wanted to create an atmosphere where people could join for free. And if it is just like one time a week, I said I'm going to start with one day a week, which is actually today. And one day a week, just walk to get in the flow. And I wanted to make it a group atmosphere because
I love that. It's easier because you feel accountable. If even one person texts you and says, will you be there?
Right.
There is kind of this. I had a group walking team in my neighborhood for a long time. There were about 7 of us. And most of the time, we'd literally go by at a certain time, knock on the doors, and they'd all come out, and we'd all do this group walk. It's funner.
And you find that it's proven that people lose more weight when they are involved with a group.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because it keeps you all motivated.
Well, I'm struggling to get motivated just to work out for my Kilimanjaro climb. My boyfriend keeps going, you've got to exercise. We're going to be climbing a mountain in a month.
Yeah, climbing a mountain, that's a little, and you just want to sit at home and chill, I'll just get ready next.
I'm trying to do 6 miles every other day right now, just trying to get some leg action in.
I'm really proud of you, though. Because that's a big goal.
And I'm televising this climb. We are recording it, so do you know how embarrassing it's going to be if everybody sees
no
me?
Outtakes, no pauses. When they say, oh my God, we don't want to see you on the side talking about, cut the camera.
We need to do that. We recorded the Colorado Trail, which was rugged, and we went back and watched the footage, and we did cut the camera every time I was complaining. And I told him we probably shouldn't do that this time. They need to
Raw
see how
footage.
hard. Like I think I was crying at one point at that one.
Wow.
It's hard. It's up down up down. Well, if you had, there's people in the audience that they have dreams that they've given up on, maybe years ago.
Right.
And if you could give two pieces of advice as to how you would want them to see the world, how you would want them to get started, maybe two things that really made a difference for you.
Two things that really makes a difference with me is one is the first one is faith. You have to believe in the midst of all types of adversity. If you want to take my NFL journey as an example, there were times where I knew that there were people who didn't believe that the goal that I was setting out for myself was accomplishable. But I believe that was a deciding factor. If I went off of what everyone else believed, I probably would have never attempted that. I probably wouldn't even wore a Cleveland Browns uniform or Chicago Bears or a New England Patriot uniform. So faith, you having faith in your dream,
I love that. And walking the path, even when other people tell you you can't.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
That's a great one.
And goals are is a second thing that I would say. You have to know where you're going to try to get there.
To get there.
So I couldn't just say I want to go to the NFL and think it was going to happen. I had to write, okay, what is my 40 time right now? What is a fast time that they're running in the NFL? How strong do you have to be? What do you have to learn? So all those things were the steps that I had to look at and say, okay,
if you really
this
wanted
is
to
the
get
map
there,
of how I'm going to get there.
Those were the steps.
So you have to write it down. You have to see it. So if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, you say, okay, I am 230 pounds right now. I want to be at 200 pounds. So you write that out. Okay, I have to lose 30 pounds. And what is the time limit? How many pounds is good to lose per week? How many times do I exercise? At what intensity do I need to go to? And that's where I come in mind right there, personal trainer right here. I can go through those things with you. And so you have to map it out and know where you're going. So faith and goals, those are just two, if I wanted to throw two at them out there.
I love it. So how can my audience get a hold of you? How can people find Jonathan Haggerty?
You can get a hold of me at jhag.com. That's my official website.
Is that JHAGG.com? All right, we'll put it up on the screen for you.
If you want to reach me through Facebook and connect with me as a friend and spy on me, look at my pictures, it's Jonathan Haggerty or Jonathan Hag, JOHNATHAN HAGG. Instagram, it's Royal Hag, Royal _ Hag, so ROYAL _ HAGG, and that's all. If you want to call me, just call me. I'm pretty sure you can get my number from somebody. I'm accessible.
That's the new social media world, right? I can't believe how many messages I get from people. Well, thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Homemade Money and visiting with Jonathan Haggerty here in sunny Dallas. Have a super great week.
Ready, set, go!
We have to come up with a topic.
How you doing?
I got this girl thing going on. It's a whirlwind. My shoes and thongs, I'm overflowing with chiffon, and I dress myself to my favorite songs. I got the girl thing through and through. Diamond ring, pearls too. I need the whole shebang. Something borrowed and paid.
Go again, huh? Yeah, it is. I haven't
I'll be dressed better next time. I'll be bad that I can walk around. I'm not sure you should put this one in. I don't even think I can jump up there at the same time. I don't think I can do that. You think you can do that? Oh, you do? That's it. I'm holding the camera. You're gonna go. Go ahead. You show me that you can do this. Wait, you're hooked up. Yeah, Vince says he can do it, so here we go.
Yeah.
He's up for the challenge. I guess cameramen can do this better than